So what is going on, guys, and welcome to the end of the 2050 season. And yeah, I'm genuinely impressed with how our tactic has gone this season and how we are looking going in 2051. So I look forward to sharing with you how that's gone so far. Now, if you do hear some noise in the background, my wife has decided that we will start packing down the kids' bedroom today, even though we didn't plan on doing it today, which means she then said, no, you go and do your video, and now we have noise. So if you hear anything, I apologise. If you hear her randomly start abusing me, I've probably done something wrong without moving. Anyone else married will understand. So, I'm impressed she didn't respond to that. Brilliant, she wasn't listening. So, yeah, we'll start with youth intake. But I mean, emphasis on the good talents here. I wouldn't go that far. Best one is this goalkeeper who, yeah, maybe 20 years ago would have been excited about. Not so much now. So we can confirm that youth intake this year wasn't the best. Now, this guy I do think has something, but again isn't the best. He's called Tran Hung. Okay, I don't know. I don't mind him. What do you think of him? The more I stay on this screen looking, the more I think actually he's not that bad. I'm not sure on him. Comment below, let me know what you think about him. So the league campaign is over and we did win the league with 126. We did lose one game away to Goethe. We put a very rotated side out, but it was just one of them games where you just don't turn up, basically. It was one of them games where we just didn't turn up. But, you know, I'm annoyed we didn't go a full season winning every single game, but at the same time it's nice when teams beat you because it shows they do have some ability. Now, we did win the cup, win it in extra time. Again, Goethe pushing us. Again, a team who could control us to an extent. They played really well against us every single time we came up against them. So fair play to them there, but we did win the treble, winning the Super Cup, the Cup and the League. Again, really pleased with that. So moving on to our Champions League group games. So we started off away to Blackburn and got a 2-2 draw. McGee with both goals for Blackburn, Makengo with both goals for us. We then had Maribor at home, Franklin and 16 on the score sheet. 4 points from the first two games. Really pleased with how we started. We then came up against Real Sociedad at home and we actually lost the game 2-0 and we were poor. 11 shots. You can see this end here. 11 shots but only one on target. A little bit more possession of 52%, but we never took our chances. It was an off game for us. Now, we did then bounce back with a 1-0 victory, you know, as you do, over Barcelona. I don't want to brag, but we beat Barcelona. We then went to Italy and beat Napoli. So, we beat Barcelona in the Faroe Islands. We then beat Napoli in Naples. I mean, Franklin scored the goal. And that has been followed up with a 2-0 victory over Red Star and Inderberg and Makengo on the score sheet. And we sit nicely after 6 games. 1-4, drew 1, lost 1, 8 goals scored, 5 goals conceded, 13 points. 3 points off top team Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough are leading the way over Real Madrid, Inter and then Man City. So you have Middlesbrough, Man City and Man United. Newcastle are in there as well. Arsenal are in there. Blackburn are in there. 6 English teams. That can't be right. I think we've discussed this before. Champions League group stage, Champions League group stage, Champions League group stage, Champions League group stage. But then it's Europa League. Okay, so that would mean who won the Champions League last year? Was Real Betis. Europa League was Blackburn. Okay, so Blackburn won the Europa League, which saw them go into the Champions League. So that's why Blackburn are in there. But there's 6 teams. Just the Chelsea won the Conference League, but they aren't in the Champions League. A little bit confusing. Just to say the least. A little bit confusing. But it's been a successful second half of the season, and we're still on this tactic of the 4-2-3-1. But we look good. Clean sheet against Red Star, clean sheet against Napoli, clean sheet against Barcelona. But we look good. We do concede the odd goals. You can see here in September we conceded in every single game. So we do have periods of conceding goals. You can see quite a lot of clean sheets in a row here, then a messed up month. It's very up and down, I do admit that, but I've never had a tactic through this whole save where I enjoy watching the team as much as with this new tactic. In terms of the players, then, top goal scorer with 30 starts, 3 subs was McKengo. Age 19 now, he has 33 goals in all comps for us. Franklin with 31 and 34 from left wing. Inderberg with 23 and 36. 16 has 13 in 24. Sterler with 8, Yellow with 7. In terms of assists, 16 got 20 assists this season. I mean, he's just been an absolute gem, hasn't he? He's just been an absolute gem. 25 years old now. He's been with the club for 4 seasons. Eligibility, he's got only 270 days left till potentially he could become a Faroe Islands national team player. Obviously, probably not going to happen due to this bug. Kielstrup with 15 assists, Inderberg with 14, Bojan with 12, who is going to Inter Milan after this month, Yellow with 10, McKengo with 8 assists as well as his 33 goals, and Franklin with 8 as well as his 31, and 8 and 8 for Sterler. So I'm just really, really pleased with how things are looking. I'm going to try to hold on to everybody except for Bojan. I've promoted here, Prieto has come up into the first team after a year on loan at Hampstead for next season, and also this young Mali international we signed in the last episode for 115k is going to get in around the first team next year. I don't plan on really signing anyone. I really don't. We're just going to kind of see how this team develops. In terms of our B team, we did win the league again. They finished with 123, drew 1, lost 3 on 70 points. But again, we have a decent B team. 33 goals for Linneland. 7 for Arneson, who's got another year with us, so he's going to play for our B team next year as well. He's not in on the first team. He is one of the casualties to the change in tactic, but we see what happens, don't we? Jakubov has come back from Hampstead after scoring 21 goals in 27 this year in Sweden. He's not going to get in our first team this year, so I think for next year I'm going to either loan him back to Sweden or send him to Finland, to Kappa, our other feeder club for next year. Just continue his development, keep getting him first team football. Our under-18s won the league as well, 124, drew 2, lost 1. Decent. There's no killer players within this team. The only player I would probably say is the French guy who we signed, who scored 11 and 11. He's going to go up into our under our B team for next year, and just see how he keeps developing. Cost us 950k. So as I've said before, I do think there's a good bit of profit in him. Moving on to the national team, then we've had a decent year, to be honest with you. If I go on to the schedule side of things, we started with a game against Gibraltar, got a 1-0 victory. We then played Estonia and got a 2-1 win with Hansen, the left wing, again both. We lost away to Latvia before getting a 3-0 victory against Macedonia with Thorsby getting 2 goals. Has been released by us now. We didn't want to sign a new deal, but he came in, had a few years, and now is a Faroe Islands player. Obviously joined us in 2045 as a Norwegian, so delighted that he is now playing for the national team. We then lost at home to Latvia before a good November, a 1-1 away to Estonia, And then a 3-0 away to Macedonia, with Thorsby getting another goal against them. Rigsetter and Clean, our central defender, who was just developed into a beast. He's still only 19. When he came through the intake in 47, I didn't really rate him, didn't really take any notice. He's developed into a beast. National team player now in a rotation for us. So in terms of competitions then, we came in second place in League C. If you think a few years ago we were in League D, and now we're knocking on the door to go up into League B. So I am really, really pleased how we're doing. 135th ranking, so we have gone up a little bit. We were knocking around the 150 for a while. We are stable in that 130 at the minute, so I am pleased with it. Still using the more defensive tactic. One player I do want to mention, a player who has just retired and has moved in to our B team, I think it was, or maybe it's not. There, Rasmus Smith is now our under-21 head coach. Not the best rating wise, but he has just retired age 35, and obviously was with us for quite a few years. So when he retired, I moved him straight into the national team coaching setup. We actually also moved in Frode Gutterson, our young central defender. He is one of the scouts for the national team as well. So nice to just bring some of them up. But still using this tactic, the more defensive with two holding players. Thorsby is that centre midfielder on attack. The national team, I don't think, is ever going to result in anything, unfortunately. We've just never pushed on. This bug where players who come to me don't seem to get national citizenship has been a major issue. There's a lot of players who've been around for 10 years now with the club, never became Faroe Island players, so that ended up costing us the ability to take them any further, unfortunately. But we keep going, we keep pushing on and keep seeing what we can do. But going in next season, I am genuinely excited to see what we can do with the national team. I love the fact it stands one Europa League. But we're looking strong to get into the knockouts of the Champions League. We're looking strong to go straight into the round of 16 as a seeded club. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, without a shadow of a doubt. But I've been Paul, also known as the Northman. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.